Hey you resorts for fleas. I will now be reviewing the discography of American pop rock and emo band and sometimes solo act Panic at the Disco. Number 7 is Pray for the Wicked. This album is awful. A try hard to go into bubblegum pop. Brendan Urie sings everything as a high note, trades guitars for terrible pop production and songs that are incredibly weak. Best to forget about this one. Number 6 is Vices and Virtues. Their first album as a duo, it saw them return to their pop rock emo roots. A slower pivot into a more pop sound, the album's singles to overshadow the rest. Number 5 is Too Weird to Live, Too Rare to Die. The band's first pivot into a full-on pop sound, there is enough grit and rock in it to elevate the pop with some great production. Great singles and great songwriting, it shows how much of a star Brendan Urie is. Number 4 is Death of a Bachelor. The first album as a solo project, it is the most experimental Brendan has been, having a lot of different styles and collaborations from other songwriters. The lyrical concept works very well as Brendan sells it all wholeheartedly with some of his best vocals. Number 3 is Viva Las Vengeance. The sound of this album is highly inspired by 70s rock, and the retro production sound gives it all a great rootsy feel. This album sadly is their last, and it seems that the fans and critics really dislike this one, but I see it as one of their strongest. Number 2 is Pretty Odd. The band on their second album completely changed their sound to beatly psychedelic pop. This could have been an absolute failure, but it is surprisingly charming. The last album is a full 4-piece, and losing main songwriter Ryan Ross, it really has a great mixture of melody, harmony and great songwriting. The orchestration adds a nice touch to it all too. The best Panic at the Disco album in my opinion is A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. The debut, written and recorded when they were mostly teenagers, it very much is a songwriting achievement for songwriter Ryan Ross. Coming into the emo scene, everything was overly produced and vapid. This album was a critique against that, both musically and lyrically. A satire against the scene, while musically bringing in electronic, baroque pop and jazz. The band showed that they were a unique force against a scene of fringes, fake depression and a large amount of horrible bands. It has their best hooks and is the smartest thing they've ever come up with. In a largely feckless genre, these guys were a diamond in the rough. Thanks for watching. I wonder, does Big Romney panic when he disco dances? Recommend me a band to do this with, or else I'll put you on Epstein's flight list.